Yes, finally we managed to play the first adventure in Soulbound, Age of Sigmar role-playing game. And this is a short game report about it. Hello, this is 60 Goblins and 1 Brush with a short battle report about the Soulbound Age of Sigmar role-playing game. So, it's not a real battle report. It's a role-playing game report. We tried out the rules, we tried out the game, and it's so much fun. You have to try it out, really. It's hilarious. It's so much fun. I have tried out many role-playing games, but this could be the best. Already the fantasy role-playing game about the world that was, the Warhammer world, is one of the very best. There are other games like Shadowrun and all kinds of D&D games and Middle-earth games and Cthulhu games and vampire games are all fun. But the rules that Cubicle 7 come up with are astounding. They make for fast-paced, intense, high-fun role-playing games. The rules are very realistic, and in this game, as in the strategy game we all love and play, Age of Sigmar, you only use 6-sided dice. I will make another video about how the dice rolls work, how the rules work. Now this video is mostly about the game pace, game dynamics, game flavor. Yeah. So I am playing a Kurnoth Hunter and I'm sent to rescue a lost soul pod from the Realm of Fire from Akshi. At the same time, I am being sent by Alariel because Sigmar requested heroes from all the realms and all the deities to stop chaos and death from conquering the cities of Sigmar, the free cities, most of which are in Akshi. And so is Brightspear, a city that has been recently retaken and now has to be defended against chaos, mostly against Khorne. The Sylvaneth and the Stormcast Eternals are the most powerful characters to start with, but all the characters are super powerful because they're heroes. You start as a hero, you don't start as a flunky. For example, the usual stats of any average human being is 1 body, 1 soul, 1 mind. And we start usually with around 8 points, 7, 8 or even 9. Like I have 4, 3 and 1. So only my soul is usual average. My mind and my body are superpower-like. As is only right and just for a 3.50 meter tree giant. So I'm running around with these 2 huge weapons, the bow and the scythe. I have to choose between a scythe and a bow. The scythe has the advantage that it can cleave. It's like the reaped like corn rule. On a 6, I make damage to all enemies around me, not only the one I hit. The sword, on the other hand, is more damage on one enemy. The bow is also great fun. You know, the Kurnoth Hunter bows have a huge range and they're actually more like spears than arrows. And I also have a Quiverling running around with me who I just have to reach out my hand and he puts an arrow in my hand, or claw, or whatever that is called. All these Sylvaneth, they don't really eat, right? They're half magical beings and they are rooting themselves into the earth at night, and that's how they regenerate. It's very funny. And the bark also heals by itself. I'm very happy that I started with the Kurnoth Hunter. The Sylvaneth are great, but I'm sure all the other characters are great. And there was a question if the character development, character building is fixed. It is a little bit. You can choose things, and especially later you can develop the character in any way you like it. You can choose anything, any skill, any talent, and so on. And you can also, if you like, if of all the archetypes of all the characters, there's none you feel you want to try out, you can create one yourself. You get 35 experience points or 40 if you want to play a Stormcast Eternal. They're a little bit favored. And then you can create your own character any way you like. It's very open, the system. So anyway, I get sent to actually through a realm gate and come through this dry forest, and the branch witch welcomes me and tells me where and how I have to go to Brightspear and where I will meet the next person of my Soulbound party. The whole game is called Soulbound because heroes, all kinds of different heroes, are bound together by a ritual devised by Sigmar, where the souls are bound together so that they are very strong. It's really like a superhero group, like X-Men or the Fantastic Four, you name it. So they really work together. And you can have a group goal and a personal goal. The group goal is basically to defend Brightspear, and my personal goal is to find and reclaim and bring back the lost soul pod. So on my way from the forest to the place where I have to meet the next person, a non-Sylvaneth, one of these hasty, tiny, fast-living things. I'm feeling like an ant, and I see a huge maw crusher flying overhead, and I decide to hide. So I have to roll off my stealth skill against the awareness skill of the enemy. That's how it works. You always have to roll off one skill against the other. I manage, and later I find the Lumineth mage. There are no Lumineth yet, but we are playing a Lumineth anyway. We use the battle mage statistics and characteristics archetype with light spells, and of course an elf from the realm of Haish, what we know about it already. And on our way to Brightspear, we see chaos worshippers, some strange flame worshipping chaos band. We observe them and follow them to a cave, and there we decide to purge this hellhole of those evildoers, and at the same time find out if they could be a danger, if they could pose a danger to Brightspear. And that's where the fun really starts. We go first. We kill the guards with a bow, and my companion with a magic missile. The magic missile spell and the mystic shield spell that we have in the strategy game as well, they're very powerful spells in this game, especially the mystic shield. You can be almost untouchable if you roll high. Anyway, magic is pretty tough here. In the other game, the fantasy game, there's a lot of chance for miscast, and if you miscast, you can easily kill yourself or bystanders like your companions. It's not that extreme here. There's a little bit of a miscast chance, but it's not that bad. But in the fight that followed, I realized that magic is really, really strong. I had to fight a priestess, and she almost barbecued me. Through everyone else, even the big guys, huge corn-muscled guy with a two-handed axe, I just plowed through them with my scythe. In the beginning, you're mostly fighting average guys, or a little bit above average, but these soulbound archetypes, they're so overpowered that they can easily deal with single normal guys. Only if you're caught by a horde, which also happened to me at 1.1 against 4, it can be dangerous. But since I have this scythe cleaving rule, and I did a really great rule with 2 6s and so on, it was brutal. The thing why the game is so fast paced is because of the metal. The metal lets you take extra actions in your phase. So while your enemy is usually only able to do one action, you're usually able to do 2 actions. And walking or moving short distances does not count as an action. So I can kill someone with one blow, then walk 2 or 3 meters and kill someone else, or at least attack him or her. And every type of archetypes They have their own rules, like the witch elves, for example, they can, or the fire slayers, they can get themselves into some kind of frenzy and have one extra attack even. And the Stormcast Eternals, they have their Sigmarite armor and shield, which is very, very resistant. The humans, as always, they have more talents and skills. They are more overall not so specialized heroes. There are movement zones 1, 2, 3, 4, and within your zone or one more zone you can easily move within your turn. You don't have to use an extra action for this. If you have to cross more than 1 or 2 zones, you have to use up an action, one of your 2 actions for that. So I caused this huge bloodbath, and we also met a ghoul hero who had this usual ghoul delusion that he was a noble knight, which was hilarious. Unfortunately, he died, and I probably would not have been able to defeat the High Priestess. She was really, really tough with her Mystic Shield. So you have this, first of all, you have to roll off your offense skill against the defense skill of the enemy. And then there's the armor. And the Mystic Shield can up the armor. For example, someone has 1 or 2 armor, and depending on how many successes you roll on your Mystic Shield spell roll, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 extra armor. But usually you don't cause more than 5 damage. That's already insane. So it's easily possible that your Mystic Shield armor holds off all damage. And while the tank, in this case me, is trying to chop you to pieces and is not managing to, you can fry him alive with fireballs and whatnot. So we didn't even get to Brightspear yet, but we already had a laugh thinking about me as a 3.5 meter tall tree walking into a city. And yeah, basically I probably will not be able to enter most of the houses, because imagine a medieval society, a medieval city. You can be lucky if the ceiling is 2 meters high. That's about the height of my belly or my chest. So all of this makes for a crazy game. We were also thinking already how Caradron overlords will play out with all their technical equipment and their huge balloons on their backs and so on. And also role-playing wise, acting wise, you can act a lot. Yeah, I'm trying to do mine a little bit like an ant, not overdoing it, yeah, but a little bit Treebeard like. It's a lot of fun. We're still waiting for the last player. We'll probably play a trader, one of these trader pioneers, which is also a very powerful character. I mean, all of them, I read all of these ready-made archetypes, more or less ready-made, and they're all really, really astounding. I want to try out all of them, which is always my problem, because it's with the armies as well in Age of Sigmar. I want to try out all of the armies and all of the sub-factions, but usually there's not time for that, and you need an inordinate amount of models, of course. So with this start of the adventure, that already took quite a few hours, 6 hours or something, I'm not sure. And of course we had to get into the rules, but they're quite straightforward. I'll explain them in the next video. Check out my next video about how the rolling of the tests work, which is very similar to the strategy game, as similar as it is possible for a role-playing game. So the transition is really easy from one game to the other. And the atmosphere of Age of Sigmar is very well caught, is very well preserved. It's really well done. This is not an advertisement, yeah. This channel is much too small. We reached 200 subscribers now. Thank you very much, but still it's much too small. Usually you need at least 10,000 subscribers so that companies will send you products to review. So this is not an advertisement. It's not a review asked for by the company. We just tried it out because we love role-playing games almost as much as tabletop strategy, and it's really a lot of fun. It's a very high fun factor. So I'm sure on the way to Brightspear there will be more crazy stuff happening, and we all have experience in game mastering, so we'll take turns, and that also enables all of the characters to have some playtime, because usually we're a small group, and this way even a small group can play, and the character of the one who does the game mastering is kind of in the background, and then everyone can take a turn in game mastering and everyone can take a turn in playing. That's usually how it's done in all the groups I know. I think the rules are quite easy to learn and are quite well explained in the book with examples. And there's a lot of scope on doing your own thing. Like the house rules in the strategy game, you can bend it towards the way you want to play it, and you see Age of Sigmar and the realms. And you can play in all of the realms, of course. I'm really looking forward to Shaiish. Like getting an artifact out of Shadespire or whatnot. Okay, this video is already much longer than I planned to. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, check out the rules video, and see you very soon, and hopefully very soon also with a Lumineth release. And write your experiences in Soulbound below if you had any so far.